Hey guys, Ange here, jumping on to share with you a quick 20-minute stretch session, all focused on your hips, your back and your side body. Now, first of all, quick disclaimer, I'm not a yogi, however, I am a PT, I am a coach. I've done lots of different qualifications in this prenatal space, as well as obviously being pregnant myself. I'm going to be showing you a couple of stretches I really love to do that helps to give me huge relief in and around my hips, helps me feel like I'm moving a lot more freer. And I know, especially when you're pregnancy, you do tend to spend a little bit more time being sedentary. You might be in lockdown as well, so you might be just feeling a little bit stiff and sore. So this quick 20-minute sequence really is designed just to open up your hips. Obviously, I'm in my second trimester. I'm about 22 weeks pregnant. Depending on how far along you are in your journey, just make sure that you exercise caution in all of these stretches. Stretches are one of those things that can feel really, really good, but remind yourself that you are pregnant. You might have varying degrees of relaxin floating around in your body, which might make you feel more open. So it's really important that you go into your stretches carefully, mindfully, and don't overstretch either. All you need is just a little bit of space, a mat, and we'll get into it. We're gonna start with a bit of a standing position. So I'm gonna move right to the edge of my mat so you can see me. And I usually like to start every stretch with just a nice little connection to belly. Sometimes we're really busy throughout our day, so we can sometimes forget that we're pregnant. So it's nice just to spend a few moments taking some nice deep breaths, connecting in with your little bubba and setting the scene to, I guess, unwind. So place your hands on your belly, stand up nice and tall, and just let your belly relax. Let your pelvic floor go. Make sure that you're not holding any tensions, and then feel free to shut your eyes. So we're going to take a couple of nice big breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just feeling the warmth of your belly through your fingers, feeling your baby underneath your fingers, underneath your hands. So I found when I was pregnant with Sky, I really did enjoy finding a little bit of time for some regular yoga or some regular stretching, just simple stuff that I could do at home. Definitely this time around, I'm planning on doing just a little bit more, just to really help my body relax into the pregnancy. Let's take one more deep breath in. A nice big breath out. And while we're still standing, we're going to start by stretching out through our side body. So obviously, as the baby gets bigger, it can start to take up a lot of space through your ribs. So it's really nice to help stretch out the obliques, stretch out your rib cage. So send your left arm up to the sky and then pop your right hand on your hip and simply drift your weight over towards your right side. Go to the level that feels comfortable for you and get that beautiful stretch throughout the ribs. Remember, breathing in through your nose, out through the mouth, and using your breath as a way to release the tension that you might be holding in your body. If it feels good, go a little bit deeper. And cross-check your alignment. Make sure that your tailbone is tucked underneath and your hip bones are stacked underneath your ribs. And then let's go over to the other side. Left hand goes down, right hand slides up your body. Keep the hips stacked to start off with. Push your hips over towards the right side, taking your right arm over towards the left. Last breath. Beautiful. And then coming over and finding your way onto your mat. Let's start by finding yourself in the middle of your mat. We're going to roll down to start off with. Tuck the chin in towards your chest. Take the crown of the head down towards the ground. And then let your knees just soften as you start pedaling the knees backwards and forwards. Beautiful for 3 and 2 and 1. Come back to center, soften the knees and roll yourself back up. Sweep the arms up and overhead. And then from here, we're going to shoot those arms forward. Take the knees apart as we sit into the hips. So you're sitting into a little bit of a chair pose, quite wide, so take the feet further apart. And really focus here on shooting those hips back. And then you can let the arms come either by your side, to your front, or just relaxed out overhead. Once again, we want to let the belly soften and the pelvic floor go. We're going to start to feel the heat building in our quads, which is perfectly fine because they are the ones that are supporting us as well as through our glutes. Two more breaths. And last one. And then take your hands into a prayer position and let the tailbone fall underneath you. Press the elbows out against those knees. Just go to a point that feels comfortable. And if you're really struggling to sit into this deep Hindi squat, feel free to grab some pillows or maybe some blocks and pop them underneath you so that you're a little bit more supported through your tailbone. This Hindi squat position obviously has so many benefits in terms of opening up your hips, letting the pelvic floor rest as well as lengthen, as well as it could be a really great position for you when you are actually in labor as well. So it's important that throughout your pregnancy, this Hindi squat is probably one of my go-to favorites, absolutely. And then from here, we're going to push our hips back up and we'll step our left leg back behind us as we take our hands to the ground. So we want to have our right leg quite high up underneath our armpit. And we're going to come into a little lizard lunge here. Now, if this is too strong through that back leg, feel free to drop the knee down. Otherwise, stay active through that left leg. You want to connect the hands down and into your mat and let the right knee fall out to the side of your body. You will feel a nice little stretch through the front of the groin here, through your left hip flexor. Refind your breath. Last breath. And then we're going to step our left leg forward, refind our Hindi squat back in together and drop the tailbone back down, lift through the chest and lengthen through your back. Beautiful. Press the palms of the hands together, drive the elbows out against the knees. Just let the body rest in this position before we step back on our right side. Take the hands back down to the ground. Shuffle the left leg forward. Sweep the right leg back. Now, if you're feeling super flexy, you can come down onto your elbows. Or if you've got some blocks at home, feel free to prop yourself up there as well. Once again, let that left knee soften and drive out to the side of your body. Take a big breath in. Full breath out. Big breath in. And full breath out. Let's go one more breath together. And out. Beautiful. From here, we're going to come back up into our squat, our Hindi squat. Refind your feet, push the knees apart, lengthen through the spine. And let's come into a couple of little squat and extends. Helps to really lengthen out through your hamstrings. So we're going to keep our elbows planted to the side of our knees as we drive our hips up to the sky. Stretch out through the backs of the legs and then pull the hip bones back in underneath us. Lengthen through your spine and really extend through your mid-back as well. Excellent work. 2. And last one. Amazing. And then re-find your squat again. I'm just going to turn so I'm facing the camera. From here, we're going to just walk our feet out just that little bit wider. Plant the right arm down and shoot the left arm up towards the ceiling. Getting a beautiful little stretch out through the back. Obviously, we do need to be mindful when we're pregnant not to go into too many deep twists, but this one here is quite gentle. And as I said, it is really important that we're making space through the rib cage, through our back. Let's change sides. Left hand goes down, right arm extends up towards the ceiling. Last breath. And then plant your hands back down to the ground, extend out through your hips, and then walk your feet out quite wide. So come to the depth that you feel comfortable here. And with the hands on the ground, we're going to extend the chest forward as we take our body down to the ground. Grabbing hold of your elbows wherever feels comfortable, or you can have your hands on the mat. And let the crown of the head just drop down towards your mat. We're stretching out here through our hamstrings, which are really important to stay nice and supple. Tight hamstrings can be a big factor that leads to a tight lower back. Shifting your pelvic tilt somewhat into a more anterior position, which can cause a little bit of discomfort. So we want to make sure that our hamstrings are always staying nice and long. Just stretch to the point where you feel comfortable. Don't overstretch. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And then let's soften those knees as we roll ourselves up to our mat. Come up to stand. And then make your way to the front side of your mat. We're going to sweep our arms up and overhead. Folding forward, shoot the arms forward. Hands connect to the mat. And from here, let's step our left leg back. So we're coming into a nice little warrior position. So from here, we're going to leave our right leg stepped forward and our left hand is going to connect down and into the mat. We're then going to open up through our right arm, getting again a nice little gentle twist throughout the top part of your spine, as well as encouraging the hips to open up. From here, we're going to drop the left hip down to the ground, roll to the outer edge of our left heel. We're going to brace through our left side. Left arm, right leg falls over, and get a beautiful stretch out through your chest, your hips. So with this fallen position, go to the point that you feel comfortable. If it feels more comfortable to keep the arm down, keep the arm down. If you can get a little bit of a stretch out through the back, go for it. And then carefully rolling yourself back over to the front, being mindful of your core, and join me in down dog. Press the hands into the mat and shoot your hips back and up towards the ceiling. Big breath in, big breath out. And then we're going to step our right leg forward, staying on this right side. Make sure it lands up next to your hands. Drop the left knee down to the ground. Bringing your body up and place your hands, both hands on that right knee. And really push and open up through the chest, lengthen out through the ribs. Beautiful. So with this position, you want to really focus on that tuck of the pelvis up towards the face, keeping the ribs stacked underneath the hips and lengthening out through the top part of your body. So you're getting a nice stretch through your hip flexors. And then from here, we're going to rock our hips back and come into a beautiful little half hamstring stretch. So once again, I am not a yogi. I do not know the names for these beautiful stretches, but they're all very common and all designed, as I've said, to be focusing on opening up through your hips, your hamstrings, the front of the hip, and just all over, helping you to feel a little bit more energized and not so tight. Beautiful. From here, we're going to rock our body weight back forward, take the hands back to the mat, step the left leg in to meet the right. We're going to come into a little halfway lift here, stretching out the spine, full fold forward, rolling ourselves up. Sweep the arms up overhead, fold forward. And let's repeat this on the other side. So from here, we're going to step back through the right side. And we're going to go into this opposite side twist, pulling our left arm up towards the ceiling, twisting through, so we're getting a nice little twist through our hips, our spine. Staying active through that back right leg, don't let the hip drop, squeeze the glute. And then from here, continue the twist around so you're on the outer edge of your heel. And we're going to push our hips up and over, getting a nice little back bend here. Opening up through the rib cage, the side body. Big breath in, big breath out. And then roll yourself back over to a front plank. Drop down through the knees. If it feels good, come into a little chaturanga here where you're going to bring your body down to the ground. Elbows to the side of the body. And then come into a little back bend. Keep the thighs on the ground so you're not overstretching through your front. Push back up onto your knees and rejoin me back into down dog. Push the heels back. Take a couple of breaths here. Last breath. And then step your left leg forward. Drop down through your right knee. Come up slowly. And then we want to press down. Both hands connect into the knee. Press into the kneecap. Lengthen through the body. Squeeze your glutes. And stretch that hip flexor. Great work, guys. Just got a couple of stretches to go before we're all done. So you're going to rock backwards through your hips and let's stretch out that hamstring on the left side. Be sure to let the crown of the head fold over. So you're not just stretching the hamstrings, you're stretching the back of the neck, all of the fascia that connects down through all of your posterior chain. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to come up to a couple of warriors. So I want you to come up into your low lunge, firm up your legs, drive the right leg straight and keep the left leg bent. We're going to shoot our arms up towards the ceiling here. Getting a nice little stretch out through our right hip flexor. Make sure that you're keeping the tailbone tucked underneath you rather than arching through the lower back. And then I want you to swivel over and open up your arms so you're coming into warrior two. From here, press into your right knee and focus on keeping your heels of your right and your left knee in line with each other and pulling towards each other. From here, I want you to straighten out through your left leg. And then we're going to rock ourselves back and come into this beautiful little fall and lunge position where we're stretching out through our hip. And then come back to center, firm up those legs, bring them a little closer and come down into a little goddess. So from here, you can put your hands on your belly, have a little rock side to side. Just feel those hips opening up. Just come down as low as you feel comfortable. Last breath. And then come back up to stand, and let's reverse this over to the other side. So swivel yourself over. We're going to come down into warrior one first, which is facing forward. Sweep the arms up, firm up those legs, nice straight left leg. Careful that you're not dumping into the lower back. Last big breath in. And then swivel over to the side, open up your wings, spread them wide, drive that knee out, press into your hip. Big breath in, big breath out. Push that right leg back so it's nice and straight. Windmilling the arms back and overhead, getting a beautiful stretch out through the side. Circling them back to center. Tiptoe your feet back in together just a little bit more so that you're more comfy. Hands on your belly and come down into that goddess stretch. Little rock side to side. Push those knees out. 2 and 1. Circle your arms back up overhead. Big breath in. Big breath out. So that's it, guys. A quick 20-minute stretch session. I hope you enjoyed joining me today on the mat. I know that I find that little sequence just so lovely on my back and my hips. As I said at the start, go easy, listen to your body, and I'd love to hear what you thought. Send me some feedback and let me know if you want some more really short, simple